Hello, welcome to another video making the game Songbringer. Today I'm going to be playing through the game on Steam, the beta version. There's been so much changed. Just finally finished all of the new ring of difficulty improvements. So every one of the bosses has a special attack now. It's all complete. All that work is now done. Basically, every single item and all of the new content is complete for the update. So for the next week, I'm going to be refining it a little bit. There's going to be some, there's a lot of new enemies, and I want to use those in some patterns if you have or mobs, if you have the ring, little touches like that to just kind of like finish this all up, refine this, and yeah, so I'm going to be testing it all out today because there was one little modification I made to the game, which is quite important, where you used to be able to get knocked by certain enemies that hit you really hard. You could get knocked onto water, sky, rocks, trees, things like that. It only happened really rarely, and for certain kinds of enemies, I finally found what the bug was that was causing that. But it's a pretty fundamental change. To put it shortly, basically there was an enemy that had two different categories: category foe and category static, which is things like rocks and trees and bushes and all that. And if that kind of enemy could stand on top of you, even just slightly, your collision boxes would intersect. Then the way the game handles that is that it completely masks out anything that you're currently standing on that you should be colliding with. So that, for example, if you somehow do get knocked onto water, you can just walk around the water until you get back onto something that isn't water, and then you're once again colliding with the water. So basically, rather than if you did get, for example, if it didn't work that way, you could get knocked onto the water and then stuck there forever, right? So this is kind of the game's way of being like, wait, you shouldn't be there, but I'm gonna allow it anyways. I'll allow it. So basically, the way the bug fix was if you were on an entity that had two different categories, it now is smarter about the way it handles that. And instead of ignoring the fact that you shouldn't be on all forms of static, for example, it just ignores the fact that you're colliding with that one particular entity, and it only works for friends. So basically, it is enabled for the heroes of the game, and it's not for enemies and stuff like that. So it only really affects the hero, and so far in my tests, it only is an improvement in the fact that it fixes that bug. But I want to do a playthrough and just make sure that it's all good. Basically, there's a lot more things to be tested. Shoot, so many new items and stuff like that. But like the charged attack, the parry ability, the ferret drones, which help you get the 100% items, the ring of difficulty, which changes the entire game and gives every boss all new items. There's new crafting items like the hyper boots, the flamethrower. There's the shirt item, which gives you armor if you die a bunch of times. Gosh, is that it? I don't know. There's a lot of new stuff, but basically, what I want to do is make sure that I'm just going to play the game as normal, as I normally do. I'm going to do a run of my world that I know and have memorized, which is Wizard, and just make sure that everything is kind of how I remember it. Really, the game shouldn't feel any different at all from all these changes I've made, right? It should be exactly the same, and it should only differ if you have one of those items or you're, right? So basically, this is just sort of a sanity check run. And yeah, that's it. Let me just make sure that we're all good here with the levels. That's looking good. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm playing from Steam. I'm playing today with my preferred controller of late, which is the 8-bit DOE SNS 30 Pro. It's got analog sticks, and it's sort of like a cool Super Nintendo controller. And it's got rumble. Oh, I should also launch XPad. This thing is supposed to give it rumble. I don't know if it works. On Mac, though. Maybe I should just turn off my 8-bit DOE and then turn it back on. I don't know if this will... I know it works on Windows. Basically, this XPad software is something 8-Bit released, which makes it seem like it's an Xbox controller, and therefore Songbringer can use the rumble controls as it normally does. So let's play. I want to get into a windowed mode so I can see the chat window the whole time. I doubt this rumble can work. It's like, oh yeah, I gotta be at 30 frames a second. Let's reset all my achievements so we can start those over. See those while we're playing. Make sure that's all good. Oh, I should have sound. Wear my headphones while playing today. Make sure all the sound's good. What was that other thing? Audio? No. Oh, window. Duh. 1080p. Okay, so I gotta restart so I can get that window right. Okay, ready to do this. Yeah, I'm gonna start the run now. Keep the chat window open. Alright, so let's kill one of these wizards. Both of these wizards, actually, let's kill. Not permadeath. Wait, should I do permadeath? Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do permadeath today. Wizard! I'm doing this because I have this world memorized. Makes it super easy for doing the runs and also helps me to verify that everything is the way it was. Close a couple things I don't need. Get everything kind of in order. Yeah. Might as well watch the intro, make sure nothing's broken. Okay, so I'm not going for time here, I'm just going for verifying that everything is the way it should be. So I'm not going to be rushing. I'll try and play around a little bit, you know, make sure everything is just as expected. It always surprises me whenever I'm starting a run with Songbringers. I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I have blink? I don't have the sword. I love that this game is like that. It starts you off with nothing. I think I might do that for every one of the games I ever create. It's such a cool feeling. Just start with nothing and progress. I love that feeling of progression. What? I'll fix that. Sometimes sometimes he still runs backwards because he's technically, when you get this one point, he's actually moving to the left. Okay, cool. We got that achievement. Cool. Combos are still working. That was something I... Good. I don't have the charge attack yet. The wall there. Oh, hey. Never noticed the dialogue could get off like that. That only happened because, I think because of the input, or I mean the item screen was there. So, interesting fact, if you have the parry ability, if you've completed Ren's trial, there's an Easter egg here. I love this game. Not sure why I'm going for all the fire. It's not like the fire did anything to me. Too slow. Sweet, we got the Simon Killer for that. Killing four enemies at once. Maybe 5. Gotta come up with a few more achievements. That'll be fun to add to this new update. Because it's one piece of content that's not. It's so easy. So easy, man. Fun fact, most of the pillars inside this bomb room contain bombs, so that one I've done. Did I say that and I haven't got a single bomb? Maybe not. So one of the next runs I'll have to do is a run with the Ring of Difficulty. I'm a little bit scared, actually. All the bosses have 25% more hit points, almost double the damage, and all of them have special attacks which make them even more difficult. So it's not going to be easy. Basically, this is the easy run here without the ring. I keep calling it the Ring of Difficulty. It's actually called Yale's Snare. It's basically a cursed ring. Cool, everything's looking good here so far. Got nobody on the chat. I wonder if the chat's working. Sometimes the chat goes funny. Fun fact, you can stop these things from moving by hitting them. It doesn't really do anything. I fixed the one bug where you can get killed by these by adding some secret tiles right here. Alright, dungeon 1 complete. We are not running in speedrun mode, so we're not getting times between dungeons displayed at the top left. Doesn't matter. Well, that was handy. Achievement work. Fixed there a couple versions ago. Those guys used to basically open up their eye if all of the enemies, or if it was waiting to spawn more enemies, but it had spawned all of the enemies so far at that point. Basically, if there were no more enemies on the screen, it would just open its eye, even though it had more enemies to spawn. So that's a good little bug fix. Those they're called verlocks, those eyes that cover those openings basically keep their eye closed when they should be closed. So it doesn't have this bug which makes those super easy. If you can, especially happened a lot when you would use the charge attack, because the charge attack could kill a lot of enemies at once. So that was kind of a bug that was lurking the whole time until the charge attack manifested it. Yips. Save that for later. Always good to have health laying around. Come pick up later. Really nice to have a charge and still be able to blink. Helps you out with these guys, because you can blink right as those ice balls are just about to hit you. Still maintain your charge. Let's just hit that. Just to make sure that's working. Okay. Might as well use those, eh? Let's use some scanner drones. I haven't done that in a minute. Cool. Appears to be working. Alright. Here's one of the more difficult bosses in the game. This one's definitely a tough one because in this particular world, I haven't gotten the cactuses yet. So I have no way to refill my health except for these 2 bits of health here at the bottom. You're always getting frozen by his freaking ice trails, and these guys are just ice balls. Just like that. And that's the worst when you get hit. You're already frozen and you get hit again. But I have made some improvements actually in this version, where those ice trails are actually a lot more fair now. They used to have a freaking hitbox which was just too big. So the ice trail made it was, and especially since you're on this slippery ground, it was so easy to accidentally slide into those ice trails. But now the actual hitbox for those ice trails is way more accurate, so you're not accidentally sliding into them all the time. So it's a bit more fair. So there I got genuinely hit by it. Gotta watch out when she's in her mad phase. She's like, I'm almost dead, I'm mad. Glad I got hit there. Yes! Nice. Oh, we seem to be low on health fighting her. Oh good, the survivalist achievement got triggered. That was a bug before. The survivalist achievement would not trigger until after the boss had spawned all of its health and stuff like that. So sometimes you could be at 1 health while defeating the boss, except you didn't get the achievement because you would get a piece of health before it was all said and done. So now it triggers instantly as soon as the boss dies. So that bug is better fixed. Excuse me. Another fun fact, you run a little bit faster without the sword out. There's a secret right there. Not the lighter yet. Warning fire. Guess the chat ain't working today, huh? Sometimes Twitch's chat doesn't work. Either that or there's nobody watching. In which case, this will just be a YouTube video. So hello YouTube viewers. How are you today? Just gonna pretend like we can talk. Oh, I need the bombs. I mean, gotta go here first. Oh yeah, that was a really effective charge attack. Got it just at the right time. Oh, do I have the teleport? Yeah, I did get it, right? Yeah, let's go to the ship, craft some ice. So should I craft Go Sword with Ice? Might as well test that out one more time. That also was a bug. I guess more of like a lack of a feature. When you didn't have, when you had crafted the Go Sword with ice, then you wouldn't be able to use ice inside the swordless dungeons because you don't have the sword. So basically now, whenever you have an element crafted with your ghost sword, it crosses over and counts for the top hat, but only while you're in those swordless dungeons. So you basically get the ghost top hat, which is kind of a cool little item that only applies inside swordless dungeons if you've crafted something with your ghost sword. Sort of a hidden feature. I haven't done ice bombs. That's so not useful though. I think I'm gonna craft it. Yeah, I'm gonna do the ghost sword. I normally do the top hat. Top hat's like super useful. It's always available. You can throw it, run away from it, and let it hit lots of stuff. Whoops. Oh, I always do that. Okay, back to the dungeon. We've got ice crafted now. Whoops, that played. I must have been just waiting to play because I know it's got a nice dodge. Oh, there's supposed to be something. Set a bomb down. And that thing's supposed to stay there, but it doesn't always work. Obviously. Ah, dangerous room. Wait, how did those guys die? Now they're not dead? That was weird. Okay, I'm gonna save my bombs and health for this. Fix that. Write that down. We're at Wizard 024. Fix secret sky blocks invisible while Rock is standing on them if he's above. The Y position. The Y. Middle position. Wizard 024. Okay. Hey, only bug I noticed so far. That actually is related to stuff that has been done recently. Basically, in particular, that is the Tower Parallax scene, which is after you've beaten Ren's trial. You're standing on top of the world. Basically made the secret tiles a lot more. There were secret tiles which were... So basically if I'm... Yeah, it's... time also that guy's boss music didn't play. That was just a simple bug in his AI. We're low on health already. Gotta be a little more careful to fight this guy. Success is assured. Green belt achievement. Let's let this here. Try and knock me back into. Yeah. Where am I going? Oh, yeah. Back to here. Is there something? I want to go get more money right now. No. Looks like the music got killed when I warped back to the home screen. Such a trivial bug. I want to fix it. Good, that bug is fixed. Those used to accidentally sink into the water because of this other thing I did to make things sink better. Which made things sink a little bit too much better. There's a fun little way to get around that though if you want to mess everything up. Actually, you won't mess everything up. But you know what? I should test that actually. Am I going to mess everything up if I do this? What happens if I do that? Yeah, this happens again. That's fine. Keep jib though? Alright. Whatever, we'll take it. Oh shit, that's all. That's not what I wanted. I want you to be a Y. Just forget how warm it gets when I stream, talk all the time. Talking increases my temperature. Whoa! I like this planet. My name's Rock. Okay, so testing this out, we should have the ghost hat. Yes, we do. So is it as the ghost hat? The ice ghost hat upgrade. Cool. That's still working as it always has the last 3 or 4 versions. 2 or 3 versions, something like that. I'm grabbing as many cactus pouches as I can because it makes the final boss fight easier, more manageable. Nice. Button was what there? That was a funny mental lapse. Funny in a a slightly worrisome way. Oops. After this, I'm gonna do a little meditation. Start working on some more of this update code refinement. Saturday night though, I gotta do something fun tonight. What should I do for fun, huh? Any lurkers out there? Got thoughts? Beam them to my mind with your mind. Don't chat. Don't break your lurking. Don't break the lurk. Just meditate. Send me your thought that way. I'm listening. My mind can hear your mind. I can feel what you're feeling. Oh, what's up? It's internal static void. Oh, is that what's going on today? It's a global game jam, huh? Oh, that's right. There's one going on in, isn't it in China or something? What's up? How you doing? Internal static void. Cool name, by the way. Oh, I don't see that. Right. I don't see it. Here, I'll prove it. You been lurking? What's up, man? How's your day going? Are you at the Global Game Jam? No need to chat any of this. I'm listening with my mind. No. Oh, but that's what I should do tonight, huh? Global Game Jam. I wish I had like lots and lots of extra time where I could do stuff like that. Being a solo developer, I kind of have to throw everything I have into the work I know I need to do. I don't really have like that much spare time. But you know what? Maybe after Songbringer is all the way finished, it will be a good time to do some game jams. Oh, from the ground up in a game jam? Yeah. It would be really interesting. Yeah. But yeah, so Songbringer will be finished. Well, it's already out, of course. It's released on Steam, but after this big update is finished, and then the iOS version, Songbringer will be completely complete. And at that point, perhaps it is a very good time to do a game jam. Nice, there's one going on where you're at. Cool, man. I really encourage game jams. They're a great way to like, kind of like motivate yourself, for example, and also get you to do a lot of different tasks at once. Become, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you not only have to do programming, you have to do art and sound and all that, and meet people. Yeah, network for sure. You can meet others doing games, and like maybe one of you is stronger at one skill. But in particular, I really encourage it as a way to get better yourself at doing all tasks of game development. Art, music, and programming. Because even just doing it a tiny bit, even just a little bit, you get better. And you understand the whole process more, which helps you network with people more and stuff like that. Push you out of your comfort zone, exactly. Yes. What do I have? I don't have acid, so I'm cheating. Or I'm using alternate methods to get around that. Because I want this cactus. Yeah, getting out of your comfort zone is a really important thing to do in general in life. Is there something over here I need? No, I don't need this. Like for example, just like simple things to do to get out of your comfort zone. Like I've found one thing lately for me is taking not quite cold showers, but I take a hot shower and then turn the water all the way to cold. You know what I mean? It just puts me out of my comfort zone for a minute and like, I don't know. One day maybe that'll lead me to be a more badass individual. Maybe one day I'll actually get to be taking a real cold shower, not just this quasi-cold shower. Oops. I moved. Like boiling water with frogs, but in reverse. Yes. I like your humor, man. Or woman. Don't mean to assume. I just have a habit of saying man to everybody. Which is probably a bad habit. Man, alright, cool, alright. Got that established. I can freely say man, and you won't be offended. I like this. We have a good understanding going. So what kind of game do you want to, what kind of games are you into making? If you were to do a game, what kind of game are you going to do for the game jam, basically? Nice. Glad to hear it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got some more work to do on the soundtrack. And then I will be releasing the soundtrack. There's some bass work I got to do. I got to improve the bass in a lot of the songs. Oh, so you want to do a game that's in space? Is that what you're saying? Like, TIE Fighter? Or like, what's that? Or Asteroids? Elite Dangerous? Wow, sweet. Yeah, Elite Dangerous. In Elite Dangerous, you can go like all over the universe, right? Isn't that that one? I haven't played a lot of the newer 3D games out there. I stick to mostly indie 2D games. How was this game done? Well, I was, Entire Galaxy. How was this game done? I made it all over the last 3 years. I did the programming in C++ with the game engine called Cocos 2DX. I wrote some code and actually released it on GitHub. So So I use an entity component system programming, and that's been released on GitHub. Also my data format, I wrote a lot of things to make sure it's all data driven, so I can change like a text file and it will change the game immediately without having to recompile it, which is super handy. I released that on GitHub. But then the art I do in Photoshop, so it's all just pixel art done frame by frame in Photoshop. And the music I do mostly, or actually entirely in Ableton, and most of it is this synthesizer I use called Massive, which is a 3 oscillator synthesizer. And then, so it was kickstarted. So Songbringer was kickstarted, which really helped it get going and also helped me find a publisher that way. And the publisher basically helped out getting it onto, publisher's name is Double 11. They're amazing. They're out of the UK. And they helped out with funding it a little bit, so I was able to get the game to PAX and GDC, thanks to them, and E3. And they helped get it onto PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which is also an incredible honor. And yeah, that's kind of the process, man. I just made it over the last 3 years. I worked full-time, more than full-time. I should mention that I worked an unhealthy amount of time. It caused me to lose a relationship that was very important to me. So I do not recommend at all working 7 days a week on your game long-term. Yeah, I've definitely learned my lesson there. So life lessons learned from Wizard Foo. Next game I make, I will definitely take weekends off, at least. And if you didn't know, if you haven't played Songbringer before, the concept behind it, yeah, not the relationship. Yeah, that definitely sucked. But you know what? In the end, it was the best learning experience I've ever had as far as relationships go. It wasn't just that I worked hard, you know, on this game. There was a lot more than that. So it taught me more than I've ever learned. It just I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't do it again a different way. I learned a lot. But yeah, so Songbringer is a procedurally generated Zelda-y game. So you can see that it's kind of like got this sort of Zelda structure, Zelda format to it. You start off with no items at all, not even the sword, and you gain all these items and stuff like that. But the main concept of it is that you give it a 6-letter code at the beginning, and whoa, I'm almost dead. That 6-letter code generates your entire world, so it works off a procedurally generated algorithm that basically takes that 6 letters, turns that into a 32-bit number, and that 32-bit number is used to deterministically seed a bunch of random numbers. Those random numbers determine the entire world, the layout of the dungeons, the layout of the overworld, the order of the bosses, where all the items are, and stuff like that. So it's deterministic, so if you enter the same world seed, like I'm playing the world seed Wizard will always look like this. All the dungeons will be like this. Even the music will be in these same keys and stuff like that. But then if you want to play a different world, you just enter a different world seed at the beginning. And it plays out like a normal action RPG. It saves your progress, just like a Zelda game would. So it's a normal Zelda game. But if you do want to play permadeath mode, there is a permadeath option where you basically, if you die, your save game is deleted. So. Certus, what's up, man? Was the game sales enough to keep you alive as a full-time indie game dev? Yes. Thankfully, yes. But before the game was actually out, it was thanks to the Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter helped me raise enough funds to keep it going at first. At first, I was actually just risking my time, and I spent about 4 months building sort of a prototype, and my intention was always to do a Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter is really what got it going, and then the publisher was what kept it going. Without Double 11 publishing it and basically funding the game's development, it wouldn't have happened. So thanks eternally to Kickstarter backers and Kickstarter itself, and also to Double 11. Thank Thank you. I appreciate this style compliment. I really, really appreciate that. I worked really hard to make sure the style was something that I personally liked. So I'm glad that you like it too. You can see that I'm actually using this one charge attack. I'm basically holding down the sword button and then letting it go to do this charge attack. This is one of the most important new items that's coming out in this big free update. So Songbringer was released in September of 2017, so just about, what, 5 months ago, something like that. And then now, it's been quite a while for me working on this update, but there's this big, it's almost like a DLC, but it's free. So there's this charge attack, there's a parry sword attack, there's this item that helps you get 100% items called the ferret drones. There's a shirt item, which is like this armor you get if you die a bunch of times in a row. Lots of new items. There's also a difficulty item, which makes every enemy more difficult. In the entity component system, how do you distinguish components at runtime? So calls like get component will work. Let me show you. Let's leave the game paused. I don't think it's going to eat up too much CPU. How do I distinguish components at runtime? So let me show you the component. I'll show you the entity foo. This is called entity foo. It's available on GitHub. Just look for entity foo. There's a link actually right there. So there's every entity is actually just a number. Every component is a structure of data, and every system is a bunch of code that works with components. So the way the components are distinguished here, let me show you. This is what the parent structure is called. The superclass, the superstructure, whatever. This is the entity component. It's a virtual, basically a virtual structure / class, whatever you want to call it. So basically, a component has just the empty and full methods, and it's really all it is. So let me show you a particular component, for example. Render component derives from that component class, and it contains all this data. See, the render component derives from entity component, and it has like a sprite, and a sprite frame, and a sprite pointer, and all that. And the way it distinguishes components from each other is through its SID, or component ID. It's a static variable for every one of the actual components. It has a SID. So let me show you. Where does it do that? It's in entity.cpp or ncpp. Yeah, here it is. Here's where it actually creates all those SIDs. So it starts off with ID 0, and profile component gets the first ID, render component, blah, 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 blah. So entity foo can determine different components on what they are based on its SID. So it's a simple thing. It's just an integer variable that is a unique integer for each component type. So in entity foo, when it wants to get a certain component, let me show you the actual get. Yeah, get looks like, where is that at? Oh, first you got to see the entity foo header for that, because it's a C++ thing. No, it's not a C++ 17 feature. Oh, you're saying your thing is similar, but it is a C++ 17. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm happy that C++ is finally getting some growth and some new stuff. Here it is. So this is a template function, basically, right? So you would call it with get, and then you put in brackets the component class that you want, and it just basically just looks up the entity by its SID. That's really all it is. It's static casts get component based on the SID type for that component class, and blah, blah, blah. Returns a pointer. Another nice handy thing is that it actually, or it dereferences the pointer if necessary. Otherwise, it creates a static component class and returns it so that it doesn't have to be returning a pointer, so that every time it calls get, it's a guaranteed it will always return something rather than it returning a pointer, which could crash everything. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, so that's basically how the entity component system works. That was developed, shoot, all the way back in 2014? No, 2015. No, I started it in 2014. That was one of the first things I did for Songbringer. How does allocating the different components work? I just use new. Let me show you, like, I think create sky tile does that. This is just a function I just worked on recently. So yeah, it calls this entity create function, which basically just assigns these components to an integer number, an EID, which is an entity ID. It's just an integer, an unsigned integer. And so basically, when it creates a component, it just news it. So it calls new position component, for example, and that gets just basically assigned to an EID. So let me show you the entity create function. Or it's just add component. Entity create basically takes that list of components that gets past it and calls add component for each one of them. So add component just needs a SID, an EID, and a component pointer to that class. So the component pointer gets newed, passed into this function ultimately, and then it just checks the EID to make sure it's good, right? It checks the SID to make sure it's good. And then based on the SID and the EID, it puts it in a list of components that it has. So the data, this is probably one of the biggest optimizations I could make to the entity component system, is to pre-allocate memory for all the components and then put it all in the same amount of memory, right? And actually organize it really well too, so an entity would have all of its components in one chunk of memory. That would be a huge optimization. It would save on cache misses, things like that. But Songbringer has performed decently well without that optimization. And it was something I always kind of intended to do, but there were so many other important things to do, like finish the content of the game, you know? So I just, maybe I'll save that for the next game. I will definitely I will definitely use an entity component system for my next game, no matter what it is. That along with making the game as data-driven as possible, were two of the best things I ever did in game development. Just radically changed my game development. Made it so much swifter. And also behavior trees. Behavior trees are really, really cool for creating AI. So basically all the AI is stored in text files and it's data driven using behavior trees. So it makes it super swift and fast to update. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, rendering truly is the biggest performance hit for sure. And I can verify that. I can definitely confirm that with Songbringer. Even though Songbringer is a 2D game, it's using just like every other 2D game these days. It's using a 3D engine, and I can't actually show you. Can I show you any of the debug? I'm playing off of the Steam version, so I can't show you any debug information. But there's probably 8,000 sprites on this screen right now. There's probably maybe around 100 different draw calls, which is way less than I used to be. So I used to have like something like 2,000 draw calls. It was super inefficient, but fixed that. Thanks to Double 11, they were like, dude, you gotta improve this. This is horrible draw calls, which on PlayStation and Xbox is very important. On Steam, the Steam version, the PC version, it didn't really cause that much of a slowdown, but the PlayStation version and the Xbox version just like was a huge problem. Yeah. There's a lot of lighting and effects, and there's a lot of shaders in progress on the screen here. There's like a little tiny bit of a blur shader going on in the corners. There's a bloom shader you can see like on the characters here, the rock's eyes in the middle there, and on his sword you can see it glows a little bit. There's the lighting shader is the most performance intensive of them all. All the lights in the game are really actually I can show you if I turn off all the shaders. There's actually a quality setting for that. Oh, is it called specular? I might be calling it something wrong. I don't know. So here's the game without shaders. So all the lighting is basically off at this point. Oh, the reflection shader. Yeah, there's a reflection shader. There's a shadow. The shadow has a blur, so there's blur shaders for that. It's off right now. It especially is pretty apparent when you're in what should be a dark dungeon like this. Let me turn the shader back on, and you can see that there's the lighting is like makes it dramatic. See how dramatic that difference is? Lighting shaders really make the game just. It makes the pixel art better than it actually is. You know what I mean? This pixel art's not that great. What's really great is what makes it look great is the shaders. And I sucked at shaders first. Shaders were really hard for me. I couldn't understand how to debug them, and I was having tons of trouble like understanding how to write the code for them. I always get these errors and stuff like that. But I kind of persevered because I was like, I really want to do some cool shaders for this game. I want to learn how to do that because everybody else is doing great shaders, you know, in everybody else's games these days. So I kind of felt like, damn, if I don't have some good shaders, I'm a horrible programmer and a bad person. They are, yeah. Now that they're fun now that I'm good at them, it's like, yeah, there's so much you can do with shaders. And they force you to think in algorithms. I like looking at things like shadertoy.com and seeing how people do some of these badass like ray marching shaders in like 100 lines of code. It's like, what? Get my ass kicked here. This is kind of a crowded room. Yo, I think I'm gonna live. Yay! Yeah, so, what else is there to talk about as far as, like, programming goes? One neat thing about Songbringer is it has procedurally generated melodies, so, sort of. The music is actually keyed to the dungeons, so your world scene at the beginning gives you, that basically every dungeon can change its key of its music based on your world scene. So my dungeon 8 might be in the key of C sharp, your dungeon 8 might be in the key of D or whatever. It's still the same rhythm and all that. That was not really a programming thing as much as it was just writing the music so it could be flexible and sort of every one of the songs had to be exported 12 different times for each one of the tracks the way it always sounds good. That's a great question, right? That's the programming part of it, is how does it sound good? It just makes sure that it's in the right key. So the notes that it chooses, so there's actually like 4 different notes or whatever for each one of the songs, and like that's used. So basically there's only like 3 or 4 different notes for each song, right? And so those 3 or 4 notes, as long as they're in the right key, they somehow sound good. There were some songs which, even though they were in the right key, they didn't quite sound good anyways, but I just changed the song so that it would sound good. Or sometimes I changed the direction of the key. So for example, if the key was, or if the 4 different notes in the key were random, like maybe one was a low C, one was like a high F, and the next one was like a middle E or something like that, sometimes just changing the order of them made the song sound right. So if it would always go upward, for example, like it would always go C sharp, E, F, and that somehow worked. I don't know why. Music is a weird thing, I guess. The Vibra Chip. This is one of the raddest items in the game. Doubles your damage. Oh, as far as audio engines, I used Fmod, which is pretty cool. Fmod's got a lot of sweet features. It's a really solid engine too. They did a great job making a really kick-ass sound engine. I highly recommend Fmod. And you can get a free indie license for it, where if your game makes like 100 grand or something like that, then you have to pay them. But other than that, you don't have to pay. Component hashing, yeah? Go check it out. So you want me to look at the hash part, huh? In result 5, in result pointer. And what's your hash? Component hash simple? I'm not a big expert on hashing algorithms, but this looks all right to me. I think I used, I could show you the hashing algorithm I used. I just kind of picked one and it worked all right for Songbringer. I mean, yeah, you're taking your in result, shifting it up 5. Plus the pointer value. This looks all right. Yeah, I guess the most important thing is, have you run into any hash collisions? If I were you, I would just simply write a quick algorithm or function that basically tests millions of hashes. And see if you get any hash collisions. Oh, you want me to look at implement component? Oh, all right. Okay, yeah, no, that looks fine, man. Yeah, this is where you're basically just like implementing 2 functions, or no, 2 statics for your class. The class name is or you're using a const char star for basically your ID. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this looks fine because you're basically taking, you're using a const char star for the class ID, and then you're making that a hash. Yeah, is that how this works? Build class hash. Yeah. Build class hash is a template function which uses your impl. Yeah, this is probably fine. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it. I get you. Cool. I think that's a great way to do it. I would say that maybe using a simple thing like an integer for each class would probably be more simple, and I guess easily verifiable. Oh, but that's cool. Oh, you know what? That is an advantage that using an integer at runtime does not have. It's at runtime. So yours is at compile time, which is more verifiable. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Good point. Yeah, good advantage. Especially as we move into languages like Jai. Hopefully Jonathan Blow finishes Jai sometime soon, because I would really like to use that for my next game, which has a lot of great compile time features. Please, Jonathan Blow, finish the game that you're making with Jai. Release Jai. I want to use it too. And I don't want to have to make my own language. Your language looks looks awesome. Yeah, constant expression. Yeah, compile time, right. Constant expression is a great new feature. Is that C++ 17 or is that 14? I can't remember. I couldn't actually end up using constant expression in Songbringer because we had to be only C++ 11 compliant because of releasing on PlayStation and Xbox. It might have been just PlayStation or Xbox, I can't remember. One of them couldn't do C++ 14 or 17. Yeah, Jai looks awesome, right? Every time I see it, it just gets better, faster, radder. Yeah, really, yeah. Yeah, PlayStation and Xbox, I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, they can't do some 14 and 17 features. Haste bin? I didn't know there was a haste bin. Okay, so here's how you get the component. Right, yeah, you're just comparing your hash. Cool. Nice, man. I like it looks like you have a pretty great system here going. Cool, dude. Props. Props on a legit entity component system you've written. It's rad, dude. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, acid. Acid. I usually do acid bombs. Maybe I'll do the acid top hat. Yeah, I'll do the acid top hat this time. So, this is item crafting. So you can basically take elements like there's fire, ice, acid, which is like poison, lightning, and fear, which is like the opposite of everything else, sort of. And you can combine them with your weapons and create and kind of add these effects to your weapons. It makes each run for Songbringer unique, even though the world might be the same, like you're always playing the World Seed Wizard or something like that. But you can sort of have a different run because you have a different item build. Yeah, and that was actually a suggestion from the live stream. So, gosh, that was in 2015, a long time ago. Somebody was like, hey, why don't you take those elements and make them craftable? I was like, that's the best idea ever. Another live stream suggestion was creating behavior trees, which turned out to be the best thing for creating AI ever. I used to create AI all in C++ with classes, and it was super brittle. It took forever to create AI. And now I can just, if I want to create a new AI, I can just create a new text file and don't even have to recompile the game mostly. It's so handy. Oh, cheated. Cheated to get my way around that. Man, I'm happy that everything is playing out as it always has. There haven't been any significant bugs. How do you manage that with just a text file? Oh, let me show you a little bit about that. Yeah. So all of the AI is written in this behavior tree format. Open up a new what's an AI I just worked on? Just worked on the thief boss. This is a hidden boss in the game. Basically, this text file is like a bunch of stuff, right? There's an attributes section. This is actually where it initializes its components, actually. So I actually load components from data. So that's the parameters for the health component, for example, right there. But then there's animations and there's sounds. But this is what I was talking about, behavior trees. This is another section of each one. So behavior tree, you can look up like some information about how to do behavior trees. I would definitely recommend that because I won't really go into how they all work in general. But basically, it's just like it's basically a scripting language, and so it goes and runs its own little. I've written this little language basically that runs all the AI, and so if I want to go and like change his, this is his initial behavior where this thief boss plays like its stuff. This is a behavior where the thief boss can cloak, and this is where she decloaks, and this is where she magically appears in different areas of the screen. This is where she launches a doppelganger of herself. This is where she throws bombs at you, stuff like that. So it makes it super easy to tweak stuff. So like, for example, if I want to tweak the way her bomb behavior works, I can say, all right, I want her bombing to work if a target is like 50 pixels away instead of 37 pixels. And before, if I had written all this in C++, I would have had to go and change that number to 50 in the code and then recompile, taking like 20 to 30 seconds to recompile a C++ file and rerun the game. Whereas this, I just change a text file, rerun the same executable, and boom. And so all of this stuff gets translated into integers at runtime, but before it actually runs all the AI. So basically it kind of like compiles some bytecodes. You could think of it that way. It compiles some bytecodes right when the game launches. It's super quick. And then it can basically play all these AI behavior trees back using mostly integers, which makes it super fast. So it's a cool AI system. Yeah, I would definitely recommend doing something like this for your games. Basically, the concept is just trying to make anything you can data-driven, so you don't have to recompile so much. And there's a ton of different entities and content in Songbringer, so like it would have like exponentially increased the amount of time making this game if it had all been written in code instead of data. That was huge for rapid game development. Screen right here. These enemies or something. Get away! Ah. Let's do this. Acid boss. Yes. Yeah, it is this hugely awesome thing. And that was also something that I think that the live stream suggested. I don't think that was my idea at all. I was like, I think I was doing AI in C++. I was. No, that's totally true. Because the AI for Jib, the little flying robot that's your friend and your player 2 actually, if you have 2 players, all of his AI is written in C++. Because I wrote that at the very beginning of the game before I had even started these behavior trees. And his behavior kind of became set that way, and I didn't ever want to change it because he was just cool the way he was. So, yeah, that was another thing thanks to the live stream. Thank you. Components restore is standard vector UN64 instead of pointers. Oh, cool. Nice. That's sweet. So how do you allocate? Do you use new, or do you locate your own memory or something, or what? Alright, we got all of the dungeons finished, I think. Oh, except for the last one. Let's go, where do we want to go? Back here. Oh, wait, do I have 200 bucks? I do! Oh, I can get this one item. It's really cool. It'll make it easier to beat the final boss. Oh, good job, dude. Allocating it up front. Keep it in contiguous memory. That's dope. Oh, yeah, deleting components, right. Yeah, what do you just like zero out that memory or like just let go of that chunk of memory and then it's like probably tricky to, you've got some memory so you're not moving basically, you're not moving components around in memory when you delete. I see. That's a tricky one, right? You either have to move all of the other data or just ignore the fact that you're not, you know what I mean, you're wasting some memory basically. Oh, right. Yeah. Huh. It's tricky, but I think you've got some really, really good benefits to doing it that way, though. Runeword, thank you for the host. Okay, so I have the captain's note. I am about to finish we'll get towards the ending parts of the game here. Oh, I do want to do this first. Craft up some fear. Where should I put this on? Bombs or blink? Oh, you're considering using new, huh? Wow. Bombs or blink, I guess. Use blink. Blink is probably a good one to do. Be right back. Let's go to the bathroom. Runeword, it's going really well, man. How have you been lately? Just run through a test of Songbringer here, the beta version. Testing all this new stuff I wrote to make sure it didn't break anything else. Sure, yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. When will it be next going on sale? I don't know. I don't know when it'll be going on sale. It for sure will be on sale when this update is all released. Oh, I didn't do the captain's note. That's why the door isn't opening. Oops. I never know when Steam's going to be doing their sales, but I try and participate in all of them, all the big ones. And then, yeah, I'll probably do my own. You can do your own custom discounts, your own custom sales. But I haven't done any of those yet. But I will be doing one when the update's out for sure. Uh-huh, cool. Okay, so you're using a component allocator class. And then here's your allocate component. So are you using your own new? Is that how this works? Yeah, you got internal free, internal realloc, internal allocator. Is this heap realloc stuff? Is this Windows? Yeah, okay, so you're basically just allocating a bunch from the heap and then like, are you using your own new? Is that what this does here? Oh, you this placement new. Oh, placement new. What? I'm not familiar with what placement new is, or maybe I am, but I just don't remember it. Yeah, Windows call. That's what I thought. Runeword. I'm actually in a different country right now. I'm in Thailand. So I'm normally based in the west coast of the United States, most recently Oakland, California. But I've had some pretty big life changes, relationship changes, and things like that. So I'm kind of in Thailand for a little bit, just sort of like rebuilding life, you could say. And yeah, I'm actually enjoying it quite a lot. What I'm doing here, I'm finishing this update for Songbringer. I'm also going to be finishing the soundtrack for Songbringer and the iOS version of Songbringer. But other than that, I'm basically just kind of living like a king. You know what I mean? Like here in Thailand, things are pretty inexpensive. So, like for example, I started working out recently and like lifting weights, and it's something that is super expensive back in the United States to like go to the gym and drink protein shakes and things like that. But it's super inexpensive here, so I can do things like that and just sort of like treat myself, you know, without having to worry about how much stuff costs. Because I've always kind of lived on a frugal budget making this game stuff. Whoops, I'm supposed to do that. Or this. Calls the constructor of the particular class on the specified pointer that you put in. Oh, I get it. Cool. So you can allocate from the heap and then use that way to new it or construct it. Right, yeah, getting away from an old girl. You could say providing some civil distance, you know. We broke up. It's kind of a long story, but yeah, my fiance of the last 7 years, and we broke up. So it's been a tough time, but it's also been the biggest time of personal growth I've had in my life. Definitely in the last decade. Grown so much and learned a lot about what's important to me in relationships in the future. Oh, you swim laps? Swimming is such a great exercise, right? Love swimming. Oh, cool. You do it here. Oh, you do it at the house. That's cool. I would love to eventually do working out at home, or actually doing calisthenics, but it's harder to do progressive overload with calisthenics because you can increase the difficulty, but it's hard to measure how much more difficult it is. Yeah, you sweet, man. Cool. I'm kind of getting into it right now. I'm enjoying sort of like building a stronger body. It's nice to I'm like gaining some weight back. I lost a lot of weight from the whole breakup, so gaining it back and just sort of like building more confidence and stuff like that. Yeah. Dumbbells, yeah. Yeah, some dumbbells are a great way to like you can definitely do progressive overload that way, right? Alright, this is the last dungeon. Oh, second to last dungeon, actually. Yeah, totally. Dumbbells are awesome. And then dumbbells are great too, because you can isolate one half. Nice! Sweet, man. Best shape of your life? Yes! Yeah, dude. I'm stoked for you. That's great. I want to be in the best shape of my life too. You never looked or felt better. Yeah! Dude, props. I can't say that yet. I've been in better shape. So I would definitely like that. I'm working on it, man. I definitely want to like get to be in the best shape of my life for sure. You're 37, I'm 38. All right, close your eyes if you're watching this and you don't want the story ruined for the game. This is a pretty important part you don't want to see or hear. Spoiler alert. Yo, what the heck? Yep. I am. I'm old as Methuselah. This bitch. She's a tough one. This boss is crazy. The Lightning Witch. You love jogging and swimming? And cardio? Yeah. Yeah. If you want to feel like a stud, you gotta lift weights. Agreed. For the last like 10 years, I only did yoga. And it definitely kept me lean, but I never really felt like a stud. I never really gained much weight. I always was really light for my height. And this is the first time I've lifted weights in like 10 years, I think. So, but it feels so good. Actually, the first week sucked ass. Like I was so sore, so immobile. Like that's how sore I was. I couldn't even like bend my arms. But now I'm over that initial discomfort and doing much better. Really, actually, just it's like an enjoyable level of sore. You know what I mean? I like it. Boom! That was way easier than it's. It felt really easy. It does, right? Yeah, mentally feeling good too, totally. And I've been reading a lot of great things about how lifting weights is really good for your long-term longevity. Like people that lose their muscle mass as they get older, it's so easy to lose your muscle mass as you get older, but if you work out, you can keep it. But anyways, if you people that lose their muscle mass are something like 60% more likely to get all these age-related diseases. So one of the best things you can do for your longevity is simply just to keep your muscle mass. Right, yeah, it is. I love that. I love that feeling of progression. Any kind of progression, in a video game, in life, whatever. I'm like a progression addict. Writing video games is like that too. It's like, whoa, look at this. I started this game 3 years ago and now here it is. Such a big progression. Yeah, squats improves your posture, totally. Yeah, another thing is really, I used to have a really rounded shoulders from programming so much. Like I was like this, and it was really pretty poor posture. And how I noticed that was that when my thumbs, when I just relaxed, my thumbs would be pointing inwards. That's how like rounded my shoulders were. But now that I've been doing pull-ups and stuff, like my thumbs are getting back to how they should be. And so my shoulder posture is like much more healthy. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Especially in the United States, you know, we see so much of that. Not just the United States, but my home country, the United States, has a lot of that going on. else I was supposed to do here? Yeah, right? Yeah. I will definitely admit that one of my motivations to working out is to be more confident with women. But I gotta also say that it's really satisfying just to be like, just to like look in the mirror and go, damn, I look good. You know what I mean? Not for anyone else's sake, but just for my own sake. That's a really satisfying feeling. And I don't exactly feel like I look that good yet, but I can see how I'm growing, and that is a good feeling. Alright, we're on to the last and final dungeon, the final boss. Yeah! Yeah, oh, you've been married, sweet. Yes, it does. It totally helps, right? That's something that, like, that's one of the lessons I learned from my whole relationship problem, was that I kind of like let myself go in certain ways. And it's so important to keep caring for yourself, even when you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah, you've been going to boxing gyms? Tell me why that's more beneficial for you. Over here in Thailand, they have Thai boxing gyms. Yeah, don't get lazy, take care of yourself. Because, like, it's almost like self-love, right? To like take care of yourself and to do the things that you know you need to do to be a strong person in all ways. And if you let that go, you're letting go of the love for yourself. And when you stop loving yourself, you kind of stop loving everyone else too. You know, it's like, I feel like love comes everything else comes from inside yourself. And if you're not loving yourself, it's like you're blocking all that love. You're too damn old to box. Yeah. Confidence? Yeah, confidence in boxing. What about it? What about boxing gives you confidence? You know where you're the weakest quickly. Oh, cool. I bet it's a big confidence builder to be able to just like know you can knock somebody out too. Is that part of it? I feel like I have no fighting skills at all. Feeling you can walk down the street and not a whole lot of people can hurt you. Yeah. Oh, I bet that is an awesome feeling. So far in life, I've tried to get away with my smile only. You know, it's like, I feel like if I just smile at somebody, I can prevent violence, but that's definitely not gonna always happen. Right, the confidence and self-discipline that comes from that, yeah. I hear you. Yeah, competing against yourself only, yes. It's a pretty healthy thing. Yeah, right? And that consistency of staying with the routine. See, I definitely agree. Violence should never be first. I feel like every kung fu movie always like hammers that home, right? The master always says something about that. Like, you should never use this. I'm going to teach you this, but you should never use it. You know, it's like, but it's true. Right, yeah, just your confidence totally can solve a potentially violent situation. Cool, that still works. Alright, we're on to the tower bosses. And then the final boss. to like to love what you created. You know what I mean? Not as like the creator itself, but just as a player. As a player, I'm very satisfied by this game. Boom! Okay, so I'm basically doing the easy run here. The legal way to falling off and hitting someone on the street. The legal way, totally. Especially in Western countries. Wait, that's a total assumption. Eastern countries, it's probably super duper bad ramifications for all that too. No, man. Yes. Yes, exactly. You know what? I'm so thankful for it. I'm so thankful for it. It's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I needed it. I needed it to grow. I needed it to realize where, I don't know, I had some false assumptions about relationships that just needed to come to light. I was ignoring certain things for such a long time, believing in certain things that are total myths. Don't necessarily need to believe anymore, and now I feel like a stronger person for not having to believe in those myths anymore. So yeah, it's been a really, really awesome, positive thing actually overall. So I decided on Thailand because I've been here before and really loved it. So about 10 years ago, I traveled the world for a few months. I was in Europe and parts of Asia for a while. One of my favorite places was Thailand. It's the people here, the prices of everything is really relatively inexpensive. The beaches, but then I discovered that Chiang Mai, Thailand, I'm up here in the northern part of Thailand. It's a little bit cooler up here. It's more mountainous, but it's a city. So but it's not as big of a city as Bangkok. So it's not like a huge city with tons of pollution, but it still is a city enough to have all the things I need. Like if I need to go buy an Xbox controller, for example, or a stereo or something like that to make Songbringer with, I can get that here in Chiang Mai. And people are really nice in Thailand. Dude, the Thai style is super cool. They call it the land of smiles. Like a smile is actually the way you start a greeting here in Thailand. People, it's like a thing. Like you're supposed to smile, and that's how it's like waving. You know. How do they feel about Americans there? It's a good question. So yes, if you're being it depends on what kind of American you are. If you're being an asshole, of course they're going to be like, you know, a little bit rankled by your existence. But if you're being a nice person, they're gonna love you. In general, I think in general, Thai people are. Gosh, this is a total generalization to say. I'm not sure if this is true, but I think in general they're happy with it because. Tourism in general here brings them a lot of their income. So like a lot of people's Thai businesses are based on tourism because they get a lot of it here. And so I think it's in general a positive thing for them. I don't know if that's true or not though. You're scared to travel because you feel like we're hated. I feel you on that. I definitely worried about that a lot when I first traveled. And I was actually so worried about that I actually considered sewing a Canadian flag on my backpack because most of the world is not as unhappy with Canada, and it's super easy for an American to pass as a Canadian. But I soon got over it because I learned that like being a cool person is far more important than where the country you come from. And in many cases, someone won't know that I'm American until they actually ask me, and sometimes they're surprised. They're like, "Whoa, you're from the United States?" You know, it matters so much more how you act towards other people than where you're from. Yeah, actually, this stream, what's really funny is back in the United States, I got the worst upload speeds, or at least where I was in Oakland. But over here in Thailand, for some reason, like my upload speeds are 3 times, or no, I'm getting 30. Like sometimes I get 30 upload, and back in the United States, I got 4 or 5. So yeah, 6 times as fast the upload speed here. But the downside is it's super inconsistent. So some days the internet will just be out. You know, like, whoops, internet's not working today. Can't stream. But most of the time, yeah, the streaming speeds has been rad, which is dope. I'm glad. I was wondering, like, when I left, I was like, man, I might only be able to do YouTube videos from now on instead of live streams. But yeah, so far it's been pretty great. I love this boss. It's probably one of my favorite bosses. Yeah! Be able to stay there indefinitely? I'm actually, yeah, I guess I kind of could stay here a while. I really enjoy it over here, and I love kind of like that whole, basically just I love living like a king, sort of, like, you know, like I can just afford everything. However, I will know that eventually I will miss my friends and family, and I'll want to go back just for that alone. So I'm actually planning to go back to the United States in June for my buddy's birthday party. We have sort of this tradition where we go to the coast up in Oregon, where I'm from, and we go and basically to celebrate my buddy's birthday at his beach house. So I'm excited to go back for that. I'm also excited to go back for Burning Man. That's kind of another thing where I get to see a lot of friends and sort of recharge my creative batteries. I freaking love Burning Man. And yeah, so I definitely want to be back in the States for that, for Burning Man, and also for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is really important to just see my family. But other than that, like, I definitely, like, next year, like next December, January, February, March, April, May, all of those I have open to either being back here or maybe trying somewhere else. I don't know, I've heard good things about Portugal, Poland, Colombia. I don't know how I'll live when I'm back in the United States. Like, the United States is so expensive. 4th of July. I know, right? Yeah, 4th of July, important. Yeah, definitely partying at Burning Man. Burning Man is like such a great party. Most people haven't been to Burning Man, so they don't really know what it's like. Burning Man is, oh man, how do you describe it? It's like, first of all, there's no exchange of money going on at Burning Man. So yes, you buy your ticket, you buy all your food before you come there. If you want to give people gifts, you buy the gifts before you come there. But once you're there, the whole point is there's no exchange of money, and there's no commercialism, meaning there's no advertising and none of that kind of stuff. It's almost like a different planet. Yes, I do heavy drugs. Not all of them. But yeah, I especially enjoy the psychedelics. I find that I gain a lot of personal growth out of psychedelics. In moderation, of course. Moderation is key, because weed is one of my favorite drugs of all time. I love weed so much that I actually did too much of it back in the United States. Like, being here in Thailand is kind of nice because I'm kind of forced to take a break from weed. Yeah, acid's one of my favorite psychedelics for sure. Shrooms too. Mescaline I found recently is really amazing. Personally, I like it. But all of it in just like, you know, moderate doses. High doses can just really mess you up, you know. Definitely a life change, yes, right? Alright, we're on the final boss here. After beating the game here, I'm going to go back and do the arena. Make sure that's all good. It's a new thing. It's a beta version. Makes me wonder. I want to look at the leaderboards actually, real quick. Made your mind open up and start asking questions you never thought before? Yeah. You're still trying to make sense of some experiences? Yeah. Oh, nobody's beat the freaking hour record yet? I am disappointed. I hope there's somebody out there who can beat this hour. It's totally possible to beat Songbringer in under an hour, but nobody's done it yet. Oh well. Someday, someone will pick that up and start speedrunning it like a badass. Whoa, low on health. Use the flask. Oh, I forgot to get the flask. Oh jeez, I gotta start eating cactuses like crazy. Not get hurt. That was a helpful one there. Oh. Yeah, I can definitely think back to some trips I've had where it's like, whoa, I learned so much from that experience, and if I analyze that situation even more, I can learn even more. Whoa. Super low. 1.5 health. Come on, he's almost there. Oh! Out of cactuses. It's all the help I'm gonna have. He's so close, I know it. Oh, Shazzle. Please don't die. Oh. 1, 2. Oh. I have to meditate. I've never done this before. Live stream, but you can actually sit here and just meditate, and Vel gets more powerful, and she can eventually beat the boss here. I mean, he's almost dead. Lucid dreaming or astral travel? I'm definitely open to that kind of stuff. I don't know if I've ever really lucid dreamed before. I would love to, but I will say that I meditate a lot. Yeah, she did it. Oh, that worked. Oh, good job, Vel. Yeah, but I feel like I do some astral travel when I'm meditating sometimes. Meditation is super powerful. I've been doing that for, man, like about 15 years of life, pretty consistently. Like the last 5 years or so, I've definitely done it just about every day or night, and meditation becomes more and more powerful for me. It's like it reduces my stress levels. It puts me in the zone creatively. It's just all around beneficial. Yeah, really? You can call yourself an expert? Really? Tell me why, and tell me what you have to share. I'm all ears. I love doing this. I'm not about to send in records here, am I? Oh, good. This run is taking much too long. Meditate. Oh, I already got it equipped. Yes. Alright, so I'm just going to let this ending sequence play out, and then I'll go back and start the game again and do the arena. The new boss fight in the beta version. This is the new boss coming out in the update. Speedrun update. It's got a new boss. If you experience with psychedelics, I think you can have more appreciate how powerful your mind really is. Yeah, how much typically stays locked away, right? Yes. Lucid dreaming is the natural next step. So, how do I start to lucid dream? What is the process for actually doing lucid dreaming? Oh, I forgot to save the Smith. This is the alternate ending. From there, you can separate your consciousness from your physical body. Step beyond that. Sweet. Right? Okay. Uh-huh. Dreaming more meaningful than most people give it credit. Totally. Heck yeah, it reveals so much about your mind, your subconscious mind, your things that are going on in your conscious mind throughout the day. Your super conscious. I believe we have a super conscious mind beyond our conscious mind. How to get started. Step number 1. Start keeping a dream journal. Okay. I used to do that a long time ago. I never kept that up. Start paying more attention. Okay, so paying more attention to your dreams by keeping a dream journal. Thank you, Double 11. Alright, so what's step number 2? Okay, so from there, eventually you will start to recognize when you are dreaming as it's happening. Wow. Black Host God, what's up? Step 2 is eat cookies. Okay, is this eating cookies inside the dream? Or is this eating cookies before you go to sleep? And then you're becoming more aware as you're inside the dreams. Okay, I got you. There's other ways. Dream cookies, my friend. Done. Next time I gain... No, the first time I gain some awareness when I'm in a dream, and I have a choice about it, I will dream of cookies. Maybe not even consciously. I'll subconsciously think of cookies thanks to you. You know what? That would actually be really cool to be a little more conscious of my dreams, because sometimes I have these nightmares, you know, not bad ones or anything, but it's just like, why the heck am I having that dream? It would be cool to have some conscious awareness to be able to guide myself through my dreams so I don't wake up sometimes going, damn, that was a scary dream. When you gain awareness of your dreaming, as it's happening, do a reality check. Yeah? Like, my favorite one that never fails is to plug my nose and see if I can still breathe through my nose. In the dream? Okay. I got you. Congratulations, you've conquered! Triumph is yours! Anything is possible! Yes! Alright, we're gonna do this arena. In the dream, if you can plug your nose, yeah, still breathe through your nose, you know you're dreaming. Right. From there, do whatever you want. Sweet. Heck yeah. What I want is to have better dreams sometimes. To be able to control a potentially bad dream would be sweet. To turn it into a positive dream, that sounds like something I would want, for sure. Alright, Vel, you ready to do the arena? She's not going to do anything anyway. Alright, do I have what I need for this? Oh, it would be very helpful to have that flask. Shoot, let's go do that. That would have really helped that boss fight. Final boss. Luckily, Vel was able to complete the boss for me. Thank you. Thank you for the spirits, man. Let's go do the arena now. You have plenty of lucid nightmares where I've turned you completely around. Nice! Yeah, cool, man. Oh, that would be sweet. I wouldn't say I have nightmares all the time, but like, you know, the occasional nightmare happens and I wake up and be like, you know, it's like I kind of believe in the power of whatever you're thinking right before you go to bed and right as you wake up, as they're very powerful, as it gets into your subconscious and all that. So it's like, it sucks to wake up sometimes and be conscious of a bad dream I've just had, because I feel like it starts me off on the wrong foot for my day. So just being able to control my dreams would be really cool. just to have the power to be able to shift the direction of them, you know? It's a fringe thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cool, man. Thank you for the inspiration. I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I could definitely do that. Oh, dude, yeah. Don't worry, man. You're talking to a person that is not one of those people that thinks things are hokey. I believe in very much in what other people think is hokey. Just simply meditation is something most people think is hokey. But I personally know all the powerful benefits of it. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna do that. I'll start writing down my dreams. I'll write them down in my phone. So I keep my phone near me. I have a great note-taking app. I'll start keeping a dream journal. Okay, I gotta manage my health better in this fight. Oh, I shouldn't have walked there. Yeah, I bet it is fun to go back and read it. Sweet, no significant bugs yet. It's very satisfying to know I've created all this new content for this big update, and the original game is the same as it always was. Well, there's definitely some bug fixes, but it's good to know that those bug fixes didn't introduce any new bugs, which is always a possibility. At least I haven't found any new bugs yet. Usually doing a run like this, running the whole game, there are already bugs. Obvious ones. Wave is pretty tough. There's all these bombs going off. These guys are tough. They're smart. They know how to get all around the screen. Oh, Shazzy. Time to eat that or drink that flask. Nice. Sweet. That wave's complete and I'm at full health. Whoa, we got knocked into the sky? How did you do that? Oh, these guys can they walk on the sky? What the hell? That's not right. Oh, how did that happen? Oh, it might have been the new railroad. Okay, so that's a bug. I'll write that down. Fix new blob for able to be knocked onto sky toggle. Sky, basically. All right. fact that getting knocked back to water and stuff. Should probably do something like that similar for the enemies. Oh, some audio here. Pay attention to this. Nice. New boss. This guy's tricky. This guy's a tricky boss to fight. See if I can find any Twitch fitness streamers? No. I haven't. How is that? Trick to this guy is you gotta let him land, do his charge, and then get near him. Or something. Yeah, here we go, it's a good one. Come on, do some damage. Oh. It's a tricky boss. You, really? What kind of stuff have you learned? Is it, I bet it's cool to be able to, like, chat with someone live about fitness. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about fitness, and especially weightlifting. But I bet it would be super cool to be able to just ask somebody some questions, you know? Right, yeah. Just be able to ask a question. Something specific or curious about. Yeah, definitely. I love a recommendation. Yes! Oh, I did it. Sweet. That's super cool. That's what I'm definitely like only interested in getting advice from people that are naturals, for sure. Nice, we got the parry ability. Last thing to check is this other stuff, the other content up here. Oh yeah, I fixed that. Sweet. Yes, man. It's such a good feeling to have all this content finished. Just from here, it's just refinements and bug fixes and getting it getting it all over to Double 11 so they can get it running on PlayStation and Xbox and tested and approved. And then it's time to release all this. Oh man, no, it's totally okay to post a link, man. Go right ahead, post a link. Of the main theme song, but it's the only place in the game I think where it really makes a lot of sense for there to be a remix of the theme song, you know? Yeah, I do all the sound, I do all the music and sound effects and artwork and programming and everything for Songbringer. It's a solo project. Solo in the creative sense, of course there's a lot of people helping out, like Double 11, everything they do to publish it, put it on consoles and all that. Alright, that's it. Everything is verified. Okay, there's other content I haven't tried yet. Like the Ring of Difficulty. Oh, hey. Okay, that disappears if you come down. Fix elevator disappearing, going back into Friends Arena Cave. All right. Minor issues. Of course, there's always minor issues. All right, y'all. I think that's going to be it for today's stream. How long was that? It was a long stream, yeah? Yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Wow. I had a great time chatting with y'all. Runeword, Wacko's God, Eternal Static Void. Anyways, yeah, so that's going to be it for this stream. I'm going to go get some dinner. Yeah, it was good catching up with you, Runeword. We hadn't chatted in a while. Glad to hear things are going well. Yeah, so to everybody watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching on YouTube. Everybody else lurking, thanks for lurking. Yeah, I'll be streaming. I'm streaming more like 1 or 2 times a week these days. But yeah, I stream from now and then, and I'm always uploading these to YouTube too. So yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I appreciate you all. And we'll catch you all next time.